My girlfriend said, "Either you pay for my car or we're done." I didn't argue. Understood. I slid the keys across the table and walked out. That same afternoon, I made one quiet decision she never saw coming. By the time she tried to reach me again, someone else had already answered in my place. I'm 34, and I've always been the kind of person who avoids confrontation. I fix problems quietly. I compromise. I've been told I'm too accommodating, and maybe that's true. My girlfriend and I had been together for 3 years. We didn't live together, but we were close. Spent most weekends together. Talked about moving in eventually. She worked in marketing, made decent money, and I did well enough in my field that we never really argued about finances, until her car died. It was a Tuesday morning when she called me, voice tight with frustration. Her car wouldn't start. She'd had issues with it for months, but kept putting off repairs. Now the mechanic was saying the transmission was gone. $6,000 to fix, or she'd need a new car entirely. "I can't afford this right now," she said. "I just put down a deposit on that trip we're taking next month. My credit cards are maxed. I don't know what to do." I offered to help her look at used cars, maybe find something affordable. She went quiet for a moment. "Or you could just pay for it," she said. I laughed, thinking she was joking. "Pay for what? A new car?" "Why not? You have the money. I know you do. You've been saving forever." I had been saving. For a down payment on a house, something I'd been working toward for 5 years. Every bonus, every tax return, every bit of extra income had gone into that account. It was my future, my security, my dream that I'd built brick by brick. "That's not really how this works," I said carefully. "I can help you figure out financing or maybe loan you." "Loan me? We're together. We're supposed to help each other." "I know, but $6,000 is—" "So you're saying no. I'm saying let's talk about options." She hung up. I stood there in my office, phone still pressed to my ear, listening to the dial tone. My coworker asked if I was okay. I nodded and went back to my desk, but I couldn't focus. Something had shifted in that conversation. Something fundamental. That night, she came over to my apartment. I made dinner, trying to keep things normal. Chicken, rice, vegetables, her favorite meal. She barely touched her food, just sat there, arms crossed, staring at her phone. The silence was heavy, oppressive. "Are you okay?" I asked. "I've been thinking," she said without looking up. "About us, about how you handle things." "What do you mean?" "I mean when I need something, you make it complicated. You turn it into a negotiation." I asked you for help, and you basically said no. I said let's look at options together. That's the same thing as no." She put her fork down with a sharp clink. "I need a car. I can't get to work without one. This is serious, and you have the money sitting there doing nothing." "It's not doing nothing, it's my savings." "For what? A house you haven't even started looking for?" I felt my jaw tighten. "A house I've been planning for years." "Plans change. People change. Right now I need help, and you're choosing your plans over me." We went back and forth like this for another hour. She got louder, more insistent. I got quieter, more withdrawn. Every argument I made was met with another accusation. I was selfish. I didn't care about her. If I really loved her, this wouldn't even be a question. The apartment felt smaller with every word. Finally, she stood up, pushing her chair back so hard it scraped against the floor. "Either you pay for my car or we're done," she said. Her voice was flat, final. I looked at her. Really looked at her. Her face was flushed, her jaw set. I waited to see if she'd take it back. If she'd say she was just stressed and didn't mean it. If she'd apologize for putting me in this position. She didn't. The silence stretched between us like a chasm. "Understood," I said. I stood up slowly, walked to the counter, picked up her apartment keys from the bowl where I kept them, next to my wallet and loose change, and slid them across the table. They made a soft scraping sound against the wood. What are you doing? Her voice had changed, uncertain now. You gave me an ultimatum. I'm choosing. You can go. Her face went red, then pale. Are you serious? You're breaking up with me over money? No, you're breaking up with me over money. I'm just accepting it. I didn't mean I was just... You meant it. You don't say something like that unless you mean it. She grabbed the keys with shaking hands, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. The door slammed hard enough to rattle the frame and knock a picture slightly crooked on the wall. I stood there in the silence for a long time, staring at her half-eaten dinner, the empty chair, the space where she'd been. Then I cleaned up dinner methodically, scraped the plates, washed the dishes, wiped down the table, put the leftovers in containers, normal motions, routine. When I finished, I sat on the couch staring at nothing, my mind blank and buzzing at the same time. That same evening, around 9 o'clock, I made a decision. A quiet one. One I'd been putting off for months. I called my financial advisor. He answered on the third ring, sounding surprised to hear from me so late. I want to move forward with the house, I said. Start looking seriously. I'm ready. He sounded even more surprised. I thought you were waiting until next year. You said you wanted to have more saved. Plans change, I said. I'm ready now. We talked for 20 minutes. He walked me through next steps, reminded me I'd been pre-approved months ago, said he'd send me listings first thing in the morning. When I hung up, I felt something I hadn't expected. Relief. Update 1. The first 2 days were strange. I expected her to call, to text, to show up at my door apologizing or demanding we talk. But there was nothing. Complete radio silence. I went to work, came home, started browsing real estate listings online. My advisor had sent me over 30 properties. I favorited 12. Scheduled tours for the weekend. On day 3, she texted, "Can we talk?" I was in a meeting when the message came through. I saw my phone light up on the table, saw her name, or rather, the contact I hadn't deleted yet, and felt my stomach drop. When the meeting ended an hour later, I picked up my phone to find 3 more messages. I think we both overreacted. I miss you. Please, don't ignore me. I stared at the messages for a long moment. Thought about what to say, how to say it, whether to say anything at all. Finally, I texted back, I don't think there's anything to talk about. You made your position clear. My phone rang immediately. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Again. By the third call, people in the office were starting to glance over. I stepped outside and answered. What do you want? I want to fix this, she said. Her voice was softer now, calculated, the tone she used when she wanted something. I was stressed. I said things I didn't mean. You gave me an ultimatum. I know, I'm sorry. I was panicking about the car situation and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair. No, it wasn't. So can we meet, talk this through? I'll come to your place, or we can go somewhere neutral. Coffee, anywhere you want. I don't think so. Why not? You can't even give me a chance to apologize in person? You can apologize right now, over the phone. You're doing it now, actually. That's not the same, and you know it. It'll have to be enough. She went quiet for a moment. I could hear traffic in the background. She was outside somewhere. Maybe her office. Maybe her car. Her mom's car, probably, since hers was still broken. Did you already move on or something? She asked. No, I'm just done. Done? After 3 years, you're just done? Just like that? You told me we were done. I agreed. That's how this works. I didn't mean it like that. I was upset. Then you shouldn't have said it. Words have consequences. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. She started crying. The kind of crying that's supposed to make you feel guilty. Big, theatrical sobs. I'd heard this before, when she didn't get her way, when I suggested we skip an expensive restaurant, when I said I was too tired to go out. I need you, she said between sobs. I can't do this alone. I don't have anyone else. My friends are all busy with their own lives. My parents don't understand. You're all I have. That's not my problem anymore. And honestly, that's not healthy. You should have other people. How can you be so cold? I'm not cold. I'm just not responsible for fixing your life. I hung up. Immediately, I blocked her number. Blocked her on every social media platform I could think of. Blocked her email. I knew if I left any door open, even a crack, she'd keep pushing through it. She'd wear me down eventually, and I couldn't let that happen. That weekend, I toured 3 houses. The first one was too small. The second one was in a bad location. The third one was perfect. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a backyard with mature trees, updated kitchen, good neighborhood. Within my budget. Actually below my budget by $15,000. I stood in the empty living room, sunlight streaming through the windows, and imagined my furniture there, my life there, my future there. I put in an offer on Sunday night. By Tuesday morning, they'd accepted. Update 2. I didn't tell anyone about the house at first. Not my parents, not my friends, not my co-workers. I wanted it to be real before I started celebrating. The inspection was scheduled for the following week. I took time off work to be there, walked through every room with the inspector, took notes on everything he pointed out. The inspector was thorough. Found a few minor issues, some old caulking around the bathtub, a loose railing on the back deck, an outlet that wasn't grounded properly, $1,500 off the price. The sellers agreed immediately. By the end of the week, I was sitting in a title company office signing paperwork, page after page after page, my hand cramped. The title officer made small talk, asked if I was excited. I said yes, but honestly, I was still processing. This was real. This was happening. That's when she showed up at my apartment. It was a Thursday evening. I'd just gotten home from work, changed into comfortable clothes, and was heating up leftovers when someone knocked on my door, not buzzed up from downstairs, just knocked, which meant someone had let them into the building. I looked through the peephole, and my stomach dropped. Her. "I need 5 minutes," she said when I opened the door. She looked terrible, hair unwashed, dark circles under her eyes, wearing the same jacket she'd worn the night she left. "No. Please. I drove 2 hours to get here. You live 20 minutes away. I was at my parents'. I told them about us. They think I should fight for this. They think I gave up too easily. Your parents don't get a vote in our relationship. Just let me in. 5 minutes. Then I'll leave, I promise." Against my better judgment, against every instinct screaming at me to close the door, I stepped aside. She came in slowly, looking around like she was cataloging what had changed. Nothing had changed. It had been 2 weeks. The same couch, the same TV, the same coffee table. "You blocked me," she said, not sitting down. "Yes. That's cruel. It's self-preservation." She opened the folder she'd been carrying. I hadn't even noticed it until now. She pulled out printed pages, spreadsheets, bank statements, her bank statements. "Look," she said, spreading them on my coffee table like evidence in a trial. "I'm drowning. I'm negative in my checking account. My credit cards are maxed. I had to borrow money from my parents just to make rent this month. I can't afford a car payment on top of everything else. I need help." I looked at the numbers. Negative $1,200 in checking, 3 credit cards, all maxed. Monthly expenses highlighted in yellow. It was a disaster. "So get a cheaper car, take the bus, carpool, Uber, figure it out." "I can't take the bus. It doesn't run near my office. It would take 2 hours each way." "That sounds like a problem you need to solve, not me." "Why are you being like this? You're not this person. You've always been kind, generous. You helped your sister when she lost her job. You helped your friend move across the country. But you won't help me? Those people didn't give me ultimatums. Those people didn't try to manipulate me into giving up my future. I wasn't manipulating you. Yes, you were. You are right now. You're showing me these papers so I'll feel guilty, So I'll cave. It's not going to work. She sat down on my couch without being invited, putting her face in her hands. What if I said I was wrong? What if I said, I'll never ask you for money again? Can we start over? No. Why not? Because I don't trust you. Because you showed me exactly who you are when things get hard. And I believe you. People make mistakes. People deserve second chances. And people face consequences for their choices. You chose to give me an ultimatum. I chose to walk away. These are the consequences. She looked up at me, mascara starting to run. Did you meet someone else? Is that what this is? No. Then why are you acting like you don't care about me at all? Because I don't. Not anymore. You killed whatever I felt when you tried to force me to choose between you and my future. Her face crumpled. She started crying again, but this time it felt real. Not performative. Not calculated. Just raw pain. I felt a flicker of sympathy, but it wasn't enough. Not nearly enough. You need to leave, I said quietly. Please don't do this, please. We can work this out. I'll get a second job. I'll figure out the car thing. Just don't give up on us. I'm not giving up. I already gave up 2 weeks ago, when you walked out. She gathered up her papers with shaking hands, shoved them back in the folder, and walked to the door. She paused with her hand on the knob, her back to me. I'll regret this for the rest of my life, she said quietly. Good, I said. Maybe you'll think twice before trying to control someone like that again. She flinched like I'd slapped her, then she left. The door closed softly this time. No slam. Just a quiet click. I stood there for a moment, then locked the deadbolt and put the chain on, just in case she came back. Update 3. Closing day was 3 weeks later. I took the whole day off work, told my boss I had a personal appointment. I drove to the title company at 9 in the morning, parked and sat in my car for 10 minutes, just breathing. This was it. This was real. I signed what felt like 1,000 pages. Initial here, sign here, date here. The title officer walked me through every document, explained things I already understood. I nodded along, barely listening, just wanting to get to the end. Finally, she slid a set of keys across the desk. Congratulations, you're a homeowner. I picked up the keys. They were heavy, real, mine. I drove to my new house and just sat in the driveway for 20 minutes, staring at it. The red brick, the white trim, the small front porch, the oak tree in the front yard. Mine. Entirely mine. No compromises, no ultimatums, no one telling me what I could or couldn't do with my own money. Just a decision I made for myself. I went inside and walked through every room slowly. The empty living room with hardwood floors, the kitchen with granite countertops, the master bedroom with a walk-in closet, the backyard with space for a garden. Everything was clean, empty, full of possibility. I sat on the floor in the living room and just existed there for an hour. No phone, no music, just me and my house. That evening, I posted a photo on social media, just the front door with the keys in my hand. Caption, new chapter. I didn't tag anyone, didn't make a big announcement, just shared a moment of pride. Within an hour, mutual friends started commenting. Congratulations, so happy for you. This is amazing. You deserve this. And then, a message request. From her. I'd blocked her number, blocked her personal account, but she'd messaged from a different account, one I didn't recognize, a profile with no photo, probably created just to reach me. So you bought a house? I didn't respond. With the money you said you were saving. Still didn't respond. The money you wouldn't use to help me. I stared at the messages, felt anger rising in my chest, started typing, then stopped, then started again. Yes, I bought a house with my money that I saved for myself. You tried to take that from me. I'm glad I didn't let you. You're glad? I'm about to lose my apartment because I can't afford rent and a car. but you're glad. You made choices. I made choices. We're both living with them. I hate you. That's fine. Hate me from a distance. I blocked that account too, reported it for harassment. Then I called a friend I hadn't talked to in months, told him about the house, and asked if he wanted to come over and see it. He showed up an hour later with beer and pizza. We sat on the floor of my empty living room, eating and laughing, and I felt lighter than I had in months, maybe years. Update 4. I spent the next month furnishing the house, slowly, deliberately. I bought a couch I actually liked instead of compromising on something she'd approve of. A big, comfortable sectional in dark gray. I set up my office exactly how I wanted it. Standing desk, 2 monitors, my own art on the walls. I hung art that made me happy. Abstract pieces, landscapes, things that spoke to me without needing anyone else's approval. I didn't hear from her again until 6 weeks after closing. A mutual friend called me one evening while I was assembling a bookshelf. "Did you hear?" she asked. "Hear what?" "She's moving back in with her parents. She couldn't make rent." "Okay. That's it? Just okay?" "What do you want me to say?" "I don't know. I thought you'd care. You were together for 3 years." "I don't. She's not my problem anymore. She stopped being my problem the day she gave me an ultimatum." "That's pretty cold." "Is it?" "She gave me an ultimatum. Told me to choose between her and my future. I chose my future. She made her own choices too. Lost her apartment because she blew her money on a vacation instead of fixing her car or building savings. That's on her. She said you abandoned her when she needed you most. She said a lot of things. Most of them were manipulative. Most of them were designed to make me feel guilty for having boundaries. Anything else?" My friend went quiet for a second. "I think you did the right thing, for what it's worth. I never liked how she talked to you, like you were her backup plan instead of her partner." "Thanks. The house looks great, by the way, from the photos. Come see it in person. Bring your husband. I'll make dinner." That was the last time anyone mentioned her to me for a while. Update 5. 3 months after I moved in, I met someone. At a hardware store, of all places. I was buying supplies for a deck project. Wood stain, brushes, sandpaper. She was trying to figure out which drill bit she needed for hanging curtains. "Do you know anything about these?" she asked, holding up 2 packages. I looked, explained the difference, helped her find the right size. We started talking. She was funny, self-deprecating. Had her own house 2 neighborhoods over that she'd bought a year ago. We went to coffee the next day, then dinner the following week. Then she came over and saw the house. She didn't ask how I could afford it, didn't make comments about what I should change. Just said, "This is really nice. You did well. I love what you did with the office." We've been seeing each other for 4 months now. It's easy, comfortable. No games, no ultimatums, no guilt trips about money or time or priorities. Just 2 adults who enjoy each other's company and respect each other's independence. She has her house. I have mine. We spend time together because we want to, not because we're obligated to. Last week, I was at the grocery store when I saw her, my ex. She looked tired, older somehow. Lines around her eyes I didn't remember. She was with her mom, loading groceries into a car I didn't recognize. An old sedan, probably her mom's. She saw me across the parking lot. Froze, a bag of groceries in her hands. I nodded politely and kept walking toward my car. "Wait!" she called out. I stopped, turned around, waited. She walked over slowly, leaving her mom by the car. "Can we talk?" "I don't think that's a good idea. I just want to say I'm sorry, for everything, for how I treated you, for the ultimatum, for all of it." "Okay, apology noted. That's it? What else is there? I don't know. Closure? A chance to explain?" "I don't need either of those things. I have closure. I moved on." Her mom was watching from the car. I could feel her staring, probably wondering what was taking so long. "Are you happy?" my ex asked quietly. Very. Did you meet someone? That's not your business. So you did. She looked down at her feet. I'm glad. I mean that. You deserve to be happy. I appreciate that. Did you buy that house? The one you were saving for? I did. Her face did something complicated. Pain, maybe. Regret. I'm happy for you. Really. I know I ruined everything. I hope you know I didn't mean to hurt you. I believe you didn't mean to. But you did anyway. That's what matters. Goodbye, she said softly. Goodbye, I said. I walked away, got in my car, drove home, the new house, my life. When I got there, my girlfriend was already waiting on the porch. She'd texted earlier saying she'd stop by after work, wanted to see the progress on the deck. She was holding takeout from the place we both liked and smiling when she saw me. How was your day? She asked. Better now, I said. Final update. It's been 8 months since that conversation in the grocery store parking lot. I haven't seen or heard from my ex since. Mutual friends say she's still living with her parents, working the same job, driving her mom's old car. I don't ask for updates. Don't think about her much anymore. She's become a story I tell, a lesson I learned, not someone who occupies space in my daily thoughts. The house is fully furnished now. Every room has purpose. The deck is finished. I built it myself over 6 weekends, watched YouTube tutorials, made mistakes, and fixed them. I planted a garden in the backyard, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, things I actually use. My girlfriend and I spend most weekends here. We cook together, watch movies on the sectional, work on projects. We're not rushing anything. No pressure, no ultimatums. Just 2 people building something real at their own pace, with their own resources, with mutual respect. A few weeks ago, I got a letter in the mail, handwritten. My address written in her distinctive handwriting, no return address. I almost threw it away without opening it, but curiosity won. It was long, pages of apologies and explanations, how she was going to therapy now, how she understood what she'd done wrong, how she'd been selfish and manipulative and scared of being alone, how she hoped I could forgive her someday, not for her sake, but for mine, how she wanted me to know she was genuinely happy I'd found happiness, how she'd learned that love isn't about what someone can give you, but about what you build together. I read it once, folded it back up, put it in a drawer. Then, 2 days later, I threw it away. Not out of anger, not out of spite, just because that chapter is closed. She doesn't get to write herself back into my story because she finally figured out what she lost. Her growth is hers. Her healing is hers. I don't need to be part of it. Someone asked me recently if I ever regretted how things ended, if I ever wondered what would have happened if I'd just paid for the car, if we'd still be together, if we'd be happy. The answer is no. Because the version of me that would have paid is the version that would have kept paying. For the car, for the rent, for the vacation, for every crisis and impulse and demand she could think of. I would have emptied my savings trying to make her happy, postponed my dreams indefinitely, and she still would have left eventually. Because people like that are never satisfied. There's always another crisis, another need, another test of your love that requires you to sacrifice yourself. The moment she gave me that ultimatum, she told me exactly who she was. Someone who saw my value in dollars, not in partnership. Someone who measured my love by what I could provide, not who I was. Someone who would rather lose me than lose control. I'm glad I walked away. I'm glad I bought the house. I'm glad I found someone who doesn't see me as an ATM with feelings, but as a partner with dreams and boundaries and value beyond what I can offer financially. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for choosing yourself, for setting boundaries, for saying no. They'll call you selfish, cold, heartless, cruel. Let them. Because the people who truly matter, the people who really love you, will understand that protecting your peace isn't cruelty. It's survival. It's necessary. It's healthy. I'm 34 years old. I own a home. I have a healthy relationship built on respect. I sleep well at night. I don't second-guess my decisions. I don't wonder what if. And the only reason any of that is true is because one day, when someone tried to take everything from me, I slid their keys across the table and walked out. Best decision I ever made. My girlfriend just asked what I'm writing. I told her I was documenting something that happened. She asked if it still bothered me. I realized the answer is no. It's just a story now, a thing that happened to someone I used to be. And that person learned something valuable. You can't build a future with someone who sees you as a means to an end. You can't love someone into respecting you. And you can't sacrifice yourself into being valued. The right person will never ask you to choose between them and your dreams. They'll help you build both.